we have this moment where we recognize, hey, we're all busy, we're all doing our thing, right? We live in a collective, in a sense, a communal society to some degree, whereby we rely on our collective intelligence. It's impossible for one individual to wade through all of what's out there. We need each other. We need different expertises. We need all these things to come together. Now, if you were to look at that and you were to say, well, there are so many of us who believe that what happened during COVID, which misinformed these Supreme Court judges, which misinformed arguably media pundits and by nature so many people in the world, we basically had something break. Something happened there that broke those basic facts from getting to people. You look at nature and you look at, say, mushrooms, for example, or fungi. They have all these connective, strings beneath the soil that are essentially all connected and telling each other, look out for this toxin, that thing. And it's just spread across, massive amounts of a forest per se, just for, visualization. So you have this intelligence that one mushroom can say something connected to all the other mushrooms. And there isn't this, let's say, ego in the way that's going to go, well, I'm not going to trust that mushroom. Whereas here as humans, we have this moment where we rely on this collective intelligence, yet we're seeing it wrong so often. And so you got to ask the question, what's the way out? What do we do? How do we become the mushrooms again? Nature is telling us what the answer is. And here we are unable to replicate it.
That's awesome. Yeah, great metaphor. Do you guys watch Star Trek: The Next Generation at all?
Yeah. Only a
Well,
couple.
there's this civilization called the Borg, right? It's a square spaceship that's like way more powerful than the Enterprise. And what's interesting about them is that they have this unified. Their minds are all connected, and there's no ego involved anymore. It's
Mm.
like a collective. It's called the Borg collective, right? It's kind of like the mycelium that you're talking about, the strands of the mushrooms going everywhere, and each element is sort of announcing to everybody else, this is what I'm finding here. We should be pulling back from this piece of soil because there's a lot of bad elements around here. So let's move over there. We don't have that at all. We absolutely don't have that at all. We don't have a collective intelligence. We have a top-down, this is what is. And, I sort of sense that this is a transition period in this conversation where we're going a little metaphysical. Um, that's where we're headed. We have to be headed there, where we all can rely on our own wits and intuition to figure things out. And here's the real interesting point here is that um, everybody has it. Everybody has this ability. It's a matter of getting our own ego or our own ideology out of the way and just sort of saying, okay, what's really going on here? Let's just look at it openly. And we're it's an embryonic stage we're in right now as a population. We have not been exercising that at all. We've been told that in order to be saved, to attain salvation or safety, you must follow the rules. And I believe that that's going to be the biggest change that we should look forward to is when we start having some faith in ourselves. And that doesn't mean believing me or you. It's about like, look, feel your body and stay still and see what's driving you to believe this or that. Um, that's going to be the most important thing as we look not just to the next 2 years, but to the next 200 years.
Yeah, very, very well said. I mean, one thing I do hope that starts trending is people having more goodwill towards each other as well, because COVID-19 is here to stay, right? I think we can all, that whatever this virus is now, I happen to believe it was probably a lab leak, but regardless of how you feel it originated, spike protein is going to be in the human body. It's going to be something the human body has to deal with, right? Um, do we believe that we are resilient enough to be able to overcome this? Or do we think that COVID-19, the vaccines are going to be so insurmountable to the human body that we're never going to be the same. And this is where I think also our approach is important, because as we also agree, COVID-19 is just one of many hazards that we deal with in life. And if we don't really have faith in each other or our ability to heal collectively or our ability to experience dynamic health, that speaks a lot about how we feel about ourselves and each other. And also, if our response to something like COVID-19 is to now make people afraid to hug each other or to go anywhere without a mask on or to completely disrupt your life, what does that say about our ability to be resilient as a species to deal with a world where there are many dangers and hazards in it? So I would love to see not just people get out of their echo chambers, but get into a place where they're saying, hey, listen, I'm going to hear your argument in good faith, and I'm also going to wish you goodwill and good health. I don't know if I've ever seen people who are coming from this trying to score points actually genuinely wishing that upon each other. And to me, that's a virus that is far more transmissible and dangerous than COVID-19.
Thanks so much for watching this clip. You can listen to this full episode via the link in the description below. It's also available anywhere you currently get your podcasts. If you want to support this podcast and watch this full episode on video, consider becoming a member of our Explorer Lounge. As a member, you get access to exclusive video content. You can watch full episodes just like this, ad-free, and you get access to a private social network where you can discuss and learn about many topics with a like-minded community of changemakers. Being an Explorer Lounge member brings you great benefits, plus you're directly supporting our dedicated team here at Collective Evolution and The Pulse.